Hi, my name is Jonathan. In this Lens Studio tutorial, we'll be going over the 3D body template. The 3D body template uses the object tracking 3D component to allow you to track the joints of the body from head to toe. Unlike the 2D body tracking, this tracking allows you to track one or more bodies, as well as track the joints even as the body rotates. To get started, first open Lens Studio and select the 3D body template. In the Objects panel, you'll find 4 different example applications of the 3D body tracking feature. We'll go over each of them and then see how we can set up our own 3D body tracking. Let's take a look at the dancing Mark example. In this example, a 3D character, Mark, is being driven by the 3D body tracking. To see this, click on the triangle to open its children. Notice that there is a 3D body tracking object with a 3D model rig underneath. If you select the object tracking 3D object, you'll find the related component in the inspector panel. Here, you'll notice that our character is tracking object index 0. In other words, tracking the first thing detected. Below that, you can choose how your character tracks the body in the tracking mode dropdown. Here, we chose pose only because our character is not on top of the Snapchatter's body, and we do not want the character to stretch to match them. Next, we have track position checkbox, which tells the lens whether or not you want the character's position to match the position of the Snapchatter. Similarly, because we're not attaching the character to the body, we don't need to check this box. Underneath, you'll notice that the tracking asset is the body, which tells the object tracking 3D component what you're wanting to track. Lastly, there's the match hierarchy button, as well as different fields for each joint of the body. This section defines which part of our character is driven by which part of the body. The match hierarchy button allows you to quickly set up this pairing as long as the name of the character's joint is the same as the field's name. We'll try using this when we set up our own character later. In this example, you'll notice that the character is under a manipulatable component so that Snapchatter can position their character to fit their needs. Take a look at the objects in this example to see how this setup is done. Now let's take a look at the 2 spacesuit example. In this example, there are 2 rigs driven by and tracked to 2 different bodies. Let's open the body attached example to see how this works. Like before, notice that there is a 3D body tracking object as well as the rig underneath it. In this example, you can see 2 of the rigs. The first one has object index 0 and the second one has object index 1, as each rig is tracked to a different body. Notice also that here, unlike before, we're using proportion and pose options, since we want our spacesuit to stretch to fit the body. Additionally, track position is selected so that the rig follows the user. In this example, you can also see that the spacesuit is actually made of multiple pieces, though rigged together. This is important when you want to be able to disable parts of the suit depending on whether a joint is visible. You can see that in the objects there is a script component that has a link between the joint and the mesh related to that joint. This script will hide the corresponding mesh when the joint is not visible. Lastly, in this example, you'll see that there is a head attached object. Although you can attach objects to the head using body tracking, you'll get a more precise control by using the head attachment. Try using them together for the best effect. Try taking what you learned in the first 2 examples and explore the stick figure example. Here we have a character overlaid on top of the user using one skin mesh. Our last example is the abstract gear. In this example, rather than driving a skeleton rig, we use it to modify the transform of an object. So for example, we attach the suit gear object to the spine 2 joint. Right-click on the suit gear field and press select to see the object that is being referenced. Now that we've seen different applications of this feature, let's try to use it on our own character. First, we'll create the object tracking 3D component by pressing the plus button in the objects panel and choosing 3D full body tracking. Next, let's bring in our character by dragging it from our computer to the objects panel, underneath that 3D full body tracking object. Great! Now all we have to do is pair them up by pressing the match hierarchy button and choosing the top level object containing your character. If you need to, you can also assign your joints to the field manually as well. Great, we've now rigged our character to the Snapchatter's body. To learn more about creating your own character, visit the Lens Studio website. Thanks for watching and have fun creating your own lenses using the 3D body template.